Hey guys, it's Salvaje and I'm back with another Fortnite Save the World in-depth weapon review. And just a quick reminder, you can support me as part of the Support a Creator program using the code Salvaje. It would help me out a lot, specifically since I am a small YouTuber. With that said, let's get right into the review. So the Deathray, I played with it for about a month or so, and I played of course multiple games with it, and for the most part you want to be using the Deathray when it comes down to modes where you're going to be doing a lot of moving around. For example, if you're someone that likes to camp in the storm and just kill husks as they're spawning, the Deathray is going to be a very useful weapon to you, because from my time playing with this weapon I found out that this isn't really an assault rifle, right? This is basically a submachine gun. But long story short, let's get into what the weapon specializes on. This is basically a close quarters submachine gun that is of course very reliable at dishing damage within a 1 to 3 tile range, and for the most part it has, in my opinion, the most reliable hipfire out of all of the assault rifles in Fortnite Save the World. This weapon is very fun to use and destroy the encampments. This weapon is very fun to use when it comes down to just hip firing it, because the hip fire on this thing is just amazing. I love it. The consistent close damage also helps out, because when you're like surrounded by a lot of teammates, you can basically just spray the Deathray, and the fact that it has 40 bullets by default also makes the weapon of course very ideal for the consistent damage at a close range over the enemies that are of course surrounding you. But that's where the weapon sort of hits a niche player base, I guess you could say, right? For the most part, this weapon stops losing consistency at the medium ranges about 5 tiles long, and this weapon is just bad at about 8 tiles long. Okay, like I said, it's just a submachine gun based weapon, and if you want to get the best out of it, you need to be playing within a 3 tile range. Otherwise, you're not going to be maximizing the damage, and the husks are just going to be getting back to you. And quite honestly, I want to point out, if you are a brand new player to Fortnite Save the World and you have to choose between the Deathray and another weapon, choose the other weapon, because I don't really think that Deathray is an early game weapon. Alright, I think the Deathray is a weapon for basically an intermediate player that sort of has his loadout figured out, his abilities figured out, etc, etc, etc. Now, when it comes down to my opinions on the Deathray, I think the Deathray is just a really fun weapon to use, like I said, on the close quarter engagements. If you're doing destroy the encampments, this weapon is a ton of fun, specifically since the hipfire is very accurate. It has one of the best submachine gun vibes in the entire Fortnite game when it comes down of course to base game weapons, because if you have a Silent Spectre, then the Deathray is pretty much just irrelevant. Now, another thing that I want to point out when it comes down to the Deathray is the fact that it uses energy ammo. And for you newer players out there, energy ammo takes bacon to craft. And when you're a newer player in Save the World, bacon is sort of like really hard to come by. However, if you're an intermediate player, if you're an advanced player like me, and you want to use the Deathray, go ahead and do it, alright? Because I have 1.3k bacon, and crafting ammo for the Deathray hasn't really made me lose bacon. If you know how to like farm passively, bacon shouldn't really be a problem to you, okay? So with that said, let's move on forward to recommended perks. I just went with damage, headshot damage, and reload speed, and damage to afflicted targets, because I do believe the best 6 perk for the Deathray is causes 6 seconds of affliction, and in my opinion, if you have any other perk other than causes 6 seconds of affliction, you're sort of holding yourself back. Now, the reason why I don't recommend snare on the Deathray is because you're not going to be using it at the medium ranges to of course hold back the enemy and sort of slow him down and do more damage. The Deathray is something that you want to be reloading, and then you want the affliction that your weapon is providing to sort of finish off the enemies as of course you are reloading. And yeah, that's basically the perks that I recommend. I don't really recommend anything else in my opinion. I think these are the best perks, because the damage and the headshot damage basically help the Deathray sort of be better and sort of cover up for the weaknesses that the Deathray of course provides. With that said, yeah, let's move on forward to the star rating. Alright, on a 1 to 5 star scale, I'm going to give the Deathray a 3 out of 5 stars. And 3 stars for me means that it's semi-reliable because it lacks consistency in important areas. And the only reason why I'm giving the Deathray a 3 out of 5 stars is because there are other machine pistols in Fortnite Save the World that are way better and more consistent than the Deathray at doing its job. Like, there's pistols out there in Save the World that you can use within a 2-tile, 3-tile range, just like you use the Deathray, and you can basically do more damage or be more effective than you would as if you were using a Deathray. However, it doesn't mean that the Deathray is completely useless. If you guys enjoyed the Fortnite Save the World weapon review, please drop a like and please support me as part of the Support a Creator program. See you guys in the next one, and I hope you guys found this video helpful and it helped you make your decision whether the Deathray or not, whether the Deathray is worth your time or not. Peace out. See you on the next one.